This After Effects tutorial is sponsored by Motion RAM.
You got way too many fake friends, and I'm always scared to meet them. If only I could pretend.
Hey everyone, in this After Effects tutorial, we will create a text lyrical animation inside of After Effects without using any plugins. It's a super simple effect and very fun to look at. So without any further ado, let's jump into After Effects and get started. Alright, so here we are in After Effects. Let's start by creating a new composition. Let's go with 1920 by 1080, that is full HD, 30 fps and 30 seconds long. You can keep the duration as long as your song, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna call this render as our main render comp. Hit OK. Let's hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid. Call this BG for a background. And then straight away I'm gonna select my text tool and start typing in the text. So just for the start, I'm gonna select my text tool, and the font I'm using here is the Slow Life. I have mentioned the link in the description to download this same exact font. It's absolutely free. So I'm gonna type in anything basically, because we can change this later depending on the lyrics of our song. All right, so I'm gonna align this into the center. Then let's click on this arrow. Let's make some room right over here so you guys can see it more properly. I'm going to go into animate and enable per character 3D. Then let's click again on the animate and add a blur. And we can increase the blur amount to around 150. Let's go into the range selector. I'm going to zoom in the timeline a bit. I'll go to around 1 or maybe 20 frames should be fine. Let's set this to all the way up to 100, the offset I mean. Create a keyframe, go back and set this to -100. Then go into the advanced properties and set the shape from square to ramp up and turn on the randomize order. So now we have something like this, which looks pretty nice. Now it looks a bit choppy. So what I'm going to do is select both the keyframe, right click, go into keyframe assistant, easy ease, or you can simply hit F9. Go into the graph editor and make sure you're working in the edit speed graph. Let's select this point, drag this holding shift like so, and drag this one as well. So now we have this really cool animation. I think it's a bit too fast, so I can bring up the keyframe to 1 second, and let's preview this. Yep, that is looking much better. And then let's close the animator one. Let's create one more animator. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on the small button and let's add a tracking. Let's set the tracking amount to 25. All right, now make sure that your paragraph alignment is set to center so that tracking can happen from the center. Create a keyframe. Let's drag this at the very start and let's go to 1 second. Maybe 1 second and 5 frames, and set this to 0. Select the keyframes again. You can hit F9 or keyframe assistant, easy ease. Go into the graph editor and drag this point as well like so. So now we have this really nice animation which looks pretty good. Now we are not done yet. Let's also animate the opacity of this. So I'm going to select this, hit T, create a keyframe on the opacity, go back, set this to 0. And I can select the keyframes, F9 or keyframe assistant, easy ease. So we have something like this, which looks pretty damn cool. Now right click and create a new adjustment layer. Call this effect. Go into effects and preset and search for turbulence displace. Set the amount and size to 20 and 20. And then we can animate the evolution to get this really interesting look. As you can see, looks pretty cool. So in order to animate this, I'm going to use a simple expression. So hold alt and click on the stopwatch of the evolution and use time times 200. So now if I preview this, we get this really nice displacement effect, which looks very cool on this. And then I'm going to create a new null object. Let's call this wiggle, and then go right over here into columns and turn on the parent and link option, so you get this small icon that you can see right over here. And then parent this to this wiggle or this null object. We can hide this, we don't need to see it. And then simply I'm going to add some wiggle expression on the position and the rotation. So I'm going to press P, hold alt and click on the stopwatch. Let's type in the expression wiggle, open and close parentheses. Let's go with 2,7. Now you can play around with different numbers to get the desired look, but this numbers works fine for me. I'm gonna hit R to bring down the rotation properties, hold alt and click on the stopwatch. Let's type in wiggle, open and close parentheses, and let's go with 1,3. And now if I preview this, you can see we get this really nice kind of handheld camera feel to the complete animation, which I really like. Pretty cool. And finally, I'm going to add some dust particles just to add a bit more character to the complete scene. So I can hit Control Y to create a new solid called this particles. All right, hit OK. Go into effects and preset and search for snowball or CC snowfall. And now basically I can turn them into some nice particles. So first of all, let's bring down the flakes to 100. Bring up the size to 10. Increase the variation all the way up to 100. Scene depth, let's increase this to 10,000. Let's increase the spread to 90. That looks good. And then change, let's make sure you turn off the composite with original. So now if I preview this, you can see we get this really nice look that I'm going for. Now finally we can add in our music, so you can of course use any music that you want. I downloaded this track from upbeat.com. I have mentioned the link in the description from where you can download some free music track for your YouTube videos. So I'm gonna hit L 2 times to reveal the waveform, and I'm gonna just jump straight away to the lyrics. So I'm gonna hold alt and open square bracket, and let's move this. So basically I'm gonna give you guys an idea of how you can place the text.
You got way to make fake friends.
All right, so let's type in our first text. So this is our first, and then I'm gonna hit T to bring down the opacity so I can see where the sentence ends.
Got way to make fake friends.
So somewhere around there. All right, I'm gonna hold alt and close square bracket. Let's go back a few frames, create a keyframe on the opacity, go at the end and set this to 0. All right, so here we have our first text. Hit Control D and then bring that down, and let's move this down like so and type in our second text. All right, let's move this right over here. Hit Control D again and pull this down. Move this right here and add it. There we go. Now there is one thing that you need to keep in mind is that whenever you select or arrange your text, so this text is at the right side of the composition, so I'm going to switch my paragraph alignment to the left, and when the text is at the left side of the composition, I'm going to switch my paragraph alignment to right. This way we get a little bit more variation into the text. So now if I preview this, you can see it appears from a different angle, which is pretty cool. Now let's arrange them properly so that it goes perfectly with the vocals.
You got way
I'll put this one right here.
you got way to make
Put this one right here.
fake friends.
And somewhere around there.
Fake friends. And I'm always scared to meet them.
So the second paragraph,
And I'm
so the second vocal starts around here, I guess.
and I'm always
So I'm gonna end this one right here. So now what I can do is select all the text, hold alt and close square bracket to crop them, hit T so we can see the opacity. and let's move them. So I'm gonna move this one right here, this one right here, and this one right over here. So now let's preview the first vocal.
You got way to make fake friends.
Perfect, it's perfect. That is perfectly lined up. So now I can go ahead and simply change the color just to add a little bit more um, cool look to this complete lyrical video. So that is looking good. Now one more thing that I usually like to do is add some glow on this. I can select the effect adjustment layer, go into effects and preset, and search for glow. Double click to add that. Let's increase the glow radius to around 150. That should be good, and bring down the glow intensity to 0.6. And now I can also add some noise just in order to avoid any kind of color bending. So let's go ahead and add noise of around 3%. And yeah, we can switch to 16 bits. So I can hold alt and click on this small button that you see. And now let's preview our animation. So because of the glow and the noise, it's a bit heavy.
You got way to make fake friends. You got way to make fake friends.
And there we go, there we have our lyrical text animation ready to roll. Now as we proceed further with the song, you can just duplicate this and add your own text, whichever text that comes after this. You have your complete lyrical video ready to roll. So it's a very simple effect but looks really cool. Now if you guys enjoy these kind of text animations or typography, then you should definitely check out our today's sponsor, Motion Ramp. They have made this amazing just typography pack which contains of over 350 plus amazing animations. So you can use this using the free Atom X extension. This pack contains lower thirds, titles, and typography animations which are super awesome. You can browse through all the different categories that they have, and all the animations can support up to 4K resolution, which is super amazing. And they will be updating their pack every month, so you will be getting more and more animations added to this pack every single month. Also, they are working on a Premiere Pro version, so if you are a Premiere Pro user, you will be able to use this pack inside of Premiere Pro. All the animations are very cool and interesting, very modern and fresh. They have some really interesting looking lower third animation that you can use in your project, or you can browse through the title animation category, which contains abstract, big text, broadcast, corporate titles, creative titles, fashion titles, and so much more. So I definitely recommend you guys to go ahead and check them out. They have a special discount going on their Video Hive profile. The link is mentioned in the description below. So that is a wrap for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also follow me on Instagram at dope.motions. I will leave all the links in the description below. In case if you guys were unaware of this, that I am also on Patreon, so you can support this channel on Patreon as well. With that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and always stay raw, stay creative. Peace out.